Let's go through a paper with you very fast. It's 5-star joint exam. So we were supposed to go through with you in class, but the live stream refused totally to work. So we'll be going through with you. Remember, the comprehension is about social media. So, of course, this is a general comprehension. I may not go through all the details, but look at this. So social media, the double-edged sword of our time, has become a dominant force in shaping modern society. While it connects individuals across globe with a click of a button, its darker side casts a long shadow. Like an angry beast, it devours time, sows discord, leaves its users grappling with both mental and emotional toils. One of the most glaring negative effects of social media is its impact on mental health. Studies reveal that over 30% of teenagers who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media experience symptoms of depression or anxiety. The relentless pursuit of likes and followers often reduces self-worth to a numbers game. Social media has been personified as a puppeteer, manipulating its users into craving validation through the approval of strangers. Comparisons to others' curated highlight reels breed jealousy and dissatisfaction, leaving many drowning in a deep water of insecurity. Another harmful aspect is the erosion of real-life relationships. Ironically, while social media promises to bring people closer, it often creates a chasm between them. Face-to-face conversations are eclipsed by the glow of screens as individuals scroll endlessly, preferring virtual interaction over genuine connections. Families sit together but are miles apart, held hostage by their devices. The idiom, "a house divided against itself cannot stand," rings true as social media gradually eats away at family unity. Additionally, the spread of misinformation is a critical issue. A study by MIT found that false news spreads 70% faster than the truth on platforms like Twitter. Social media amplifies rumors, turning them into wildfires that burn through societies. It becomes a breeding ground for fake news propaganda and cyberbullying, leaving its users caught in the crossfire of confusion and harm. Furthermore, social media is a notorious thief of time. Hours vanish as users trample into a rabbit hole of endless scrolling. Procrastination thrives and productivity withers under the weight of the digital distraction. Its algorithms are cunning, as if whispering, "stay just a little longer," only to ensnare users further. While social media offers unparalleled connectivity, it comes at a price too steep to ignore. As the saying goes, not all that glitters is gold. To navigate this digital era wisely, one must tread carefully, balancing its benefits with its profound effects or risks. So the first question is, according to the passage, why has social media been referred to as a double-edged sword? Now, this is a question, students. You have to realize that they are trying to check on literally understanding. When something is called double-edged sword, it's either an idiomatic expression or metaphor hidden in it. So you have to realize that a sword is something that is dangerous. It can pierce you. But double-edged means it has both advantages and disadvantages. So while you answer this question for 2 marks, indicate that social media has both advantages and disadvantages, or does both the positive and negative. That is exactly what they're trying to mean. So the question is simply asking you to interpret the metaphor, all right? The second question is, Why do you think the idiom, a house divided against itself cannot stand, has been used in the passage? Do you remember where it was used? Of course you can. Okay, let's just check the comprehension and see where it was used. And it's not in paragraph 1, is it? No. Let's check in paragraph 2. Is it there? A house divided against itself cannot stand. Did you see it? Of course you can. It is in paragraph 3. The idiom, a house divided against itself cannot stand, rings true as social media gradually eats away at family unity. So what they are simply saying in the idiom, or what it means, Kasur Rusak, welcome, welcome, and hi to you. I saw you during another lesson. I would not respond because I was in class. Now, currently, I'm doing it from home because I was supposed to do in class and the live stream actually rejected. Okay. So the idiom, a house divided against itself cannot stand, means that, that media, social media, consumes a lot of the time of the family, and therefore family has no time to be working together, and that one is working against the social ties of families. All right, the next question is, explain how social media negatively affects human relationships according to the passage. And of course you can see that in paragraph 2. They are saying that we spend more hours on social media, and we tend to Magogoi, hi. Patience Munene, hi. Welcome, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. Big up to you. I'm just enhancing the revision for KCSE for the Form 4s. That is why I'm doing this. So thank you so much for showing up here, and big up to you. Kasur, Rusak, Magogoi, Patience Munene, and everybody else. Like the video for me. Kiss the video for me. All right. So the reality about social media is that it affects human relationships in the following ways. Okay. The first has been shown in the second paragraph, that people become jealous of each other. During creation of reels, you create a reel, then you find someone else is winning unlike you. You become jealous or dissatisfied with yourself, okay, and feel insecure. That is also that is one of the things of human relationships, because when there is jealousy in relationships, there is no positivity. The second aspect is coming in paragraph 3, and that is clearer. In paragraph 3, you can see that social media, what it does is that with virtual interaction, people keep scrolling endlessly, and therefore they are held hostage. So they don't have room to actually focus on the family or themselves. All right. Now this question carries 3 marks. And as you can see, the reality is that through social media, there are no genuine connections, because people sit far away, and again, they distance from family. Alan Lijodi, Uborandi. Alan Lijodi, Uborandi, how are you? Welcome, welcome. I hope you're fine in this revision moment. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. D, according to the passage, what is the effect of the false news? Effect of false news spread by social media. Now, of course, you've seen that in paragraph 4. MIT found false news spread 70% faster than the true one. And what it does is that it amplifies the rumors, turning them into wildfire that burns the society. You know, when propaganda, fake news, or cyberbullying is used, it creates confusion and harm. I think it has been shared here. The next question is summary. In not more than 30 words, summarize how social media is depicted as a hungry beast. Okay. Now you remember they used that in the passage. If you are answering KCSE, please consider the keywords in the question. How social media is depicted as a hungry beast. Though such a question may not be easily set under summary. But then, a hungry beast, of course, you understand, is that which will never stop and is interested in destroying, right? So the summary will be based on the continuous growth of social media in a destructive way. And if it is 4 marks, go for 4 points. Now you realize that in the comprehension, let's look for where they used the angry beast. I saw it, right? So there is a part where they used the angry beast. Let's look for it, then we can go for the answers. Of course, it was paragraph... They have used a lot of idioms in this passage, by the way. A lot of them. Yeah, you've used ring, the house that is divided. They have used double-edged sword. They have used the beast, rabbit. Okay. Yeah. So look at this. Yeah, you can see. You can see that. So first paragraph, that's where they said that social media is like a hungry beast. You see that here? It is here. It devours time, sows discord, and leaves its users grappling with both mental and emotional tolls. So you've seen those 3 points already have been shared here, but you want to see how it does it. So for example here, all the time you will spend on the social media, and while spending that time you will be craving for validation. The other one is that instead of connecting with people genuinely, you will be driven against the unity because of the endless hostage. The other aspect is that it creates confusion through fake news, propaganda, and cyberbullying. And the very last one is that it leads to procrastination. So we stay a little longer there and we waste time to do other things, okay? And there is another here telling us that, no, the last one does not have a point. But the rest of the paragraphs, you realize they have 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Now, when you're writing the rough copy, ensure you finished first and you count the words. Don't lie before you can finish, okay? The next question is, why do you think the percentage has been mentioned in the 4th paragraph? Now, good thing they have given you the paragraph, and in that paragraph, it's 70% faster. Now, looking at faster must tell you that there is something about the seriousness of how social media leads to the spreading of false information. One person picks it and spreads it very fast. The other question is comment on the tone of the last paragraph. The last paragraph, despite sharing the problems in social media, the author tells us that that we can navigate through it wisely as long as we tread carefully and balance the benefits. What does that mean? It can be a critical tone or advisory. I would prefer advisory tone because the author is trying to make us aware of what we need to do. The next words that we need to explain meaning for, we have divorce, divorce. That is wastes our time, wastes time, consumes time, okay? Then there is chasm. Chasm means a gap, or what was it? It was here. Creates a chasm between them. Division, a gap, okay? Ensnare. Ensnare is trap, okay? Now, when you're answering meanings of words, remember to give the words that belong to the word class of the word given, and also go back to the comprehension and do the part of filling the gap. Now, the next word, question 2, we have Nicole and Mossy. Nicole and Mossy. And of course, this is one of the commonest excerpts being tasted in this exam. I just want you to look at it because once you check it and you know the text, the Samaritan, you can relate. The part whereby Nicole is being asked, I don't. Then Moses says, I mean, the people who voted these evil people into office, the Samaritan should focus on the people if it intends to solve any problem. Nicole says it does focus on people, sir, doesn't it? Then Moses says, then, why are they whining? If they elect Hola Monkey to be a librarian, why should you complain when it starts howling? When you most want to read in silence? Do you seriously think a computer program or whatever it is will stop the monkey from eating bananas? Nicole says, I don't think people are whining now. They are demanding things to be done right and justice be served. They never voted anyone to go and steal. Moses says, but you now understand my situation, don't you? Nicole says, I understand perfectly. Moses says, so how are you going to help me survive the onslaught in the Samaritan? Nicole says, your worship, it is very clear from our talk that members of the Municipal Executive Council have failed you. Moses then says, of course, they have failed me big time. Nicole says, and don't you think the Samaritan is a blessing for you? I mean, as a platform through which the people can demand the corrupt leaders' removal from the office and prosecution. Mosi then turns suddenly to face Nicole, like one suddenly jolted back to reality. And he says, should I take that to mean this thing is a political weapon? Pointing at Nicole with a tremor in his voice. Are you by any chance being used to destroy my political career? Nicole says, I do not play politics, sir. Nicole says, pacing about in, Mosi paces out about in anger and says, and what did you just say? It is now very clear to me that you are playing politics. In fact, I now realize the right culprit behind all the problems in our society is the teaching profession. Nicole asks, teaching profession how? Then Mosi points at Nicole, you cannot teach the right things. All the people creating the mess in our society are products of the school system. They all pass through the teacher's hands. Your worship, we are trying our best to mold the character of our learners here at Sagrada Secondary School. We teach and uphold them to uphold the moral civic virtues without which our society can never prosper. Be fair, just, and peaceful. We teach them the virtues of honesty, truthfulness, generosity, integrity, and transparency. She then pauses, then resumes. It is the lack of virtue that is ruining our society. Mosi says, how can you tell children that in future the police can be replaced by a software, or was it an intelligent robot? Is that teaching virtue? What attitude do you want them to have towards police officers? Do you think they can ever obey the police? Nicole answers, we are seeking to develop virtuous, creative thinkers and innovators, and we may not only replace police officers with intelligent robots, but also develop software that will eventually replace the politician. Mosi menacingly answers, I know why you insist on an innovation that cannot solve any problem. It is all political, and you want us to believe that those kids are capable of developing something like the Samaritan app, all right? And I hope you've gone through the text, you know this. So question 1 is explain where the events take place, 1 mark, so you just say the principal's boardroom. So in such a question, you have to be specific, don't just say school. The next question is, the mayor admits that the members of the Municipal Executive Council have failed him. From your knowledge, mention any 2 members and account for how they have failed him. Of course, we have so many that he mentioned. He mentioned Seymour. Seymour, Mosi claimed that he has been, he has been approving, projects when he's bribed, okay, when he's paid $1. He also says that Ted has been only favoring relatives and friends in their organizations. When it comes to tendering within the municipality, he has been favoring his friends. Ted also has had a lot of business with the municipality, you know, like most of the things he has conducted with all his relatives. He also claims that Ramdae is actually guilty of corruption. Now you can get to the evidence later in the text and check more. The next question is, give and illustrate two aspects of styles used in this excerpt. Of course, we have rhetorical questions such as, why are they whining? Now, a student cannot score if they don't end with a question mark. So you must give a question mark. Metaphor. We have metaphor whereby Mosi compares the leaders with the hollering monkey and even the computer. Okay. We also have some sort of sarcasm. Sarcasm, where Mosi is asking Madam Nicole how education can really turn the society into a better one. Okay? Yeah. It's also ironical that Mosi is indicating that the educational system is not working, yet they are teaching virtues and innovation among students. Now you can have as many styles as you want. The next question is describe the character of Mayor Mosi as portrayed in the excerpt. Of course, we realize he's very temperamental. He turns suddenly to face Nicole, suddenly jolted by reality, and he points at her with a tremor in his voice. So that is being emotional. We also see that he's dismissive. He says that the education has nothing to do with the, mentoring students into better people. He's also, we can also say, he's what? He's contemptuous, because here he tells Nicole, you cannot teach the right things. All the people creating the mess in the society are products of school system. He's also pretentious. He's pretentious because he pretends that the Samaritan app is not doing any good, but he knows it is. We can also say that he's unreasonable, because now he's blaming the voters for choosing the wrong leaders. But at the same point, you can say he's realistic, because indeed, most times it is the voters who mess by picking wrong leaders. Okay? Yeah. So the other question is, highlight any two thematic concerns raised in the excerpt. Of course, from the character trait, you can see that we can pick themes like poor leadership, where the municipal leaders are messing up the entire municipality. Corruption, whereby we have seen Mosi pointing out that we have messes from the leaders. We have, which other theme? I think we can see negligence from Mosi, when Mosi tries to say that he's not responsible, but the voters are. We can also see technology, because of the mentioning of the Samaritan app, and many more. Now, describe Mayor Mosi's attitude towards the school system. I think he's spiteful, or you can use contemptuous or hateful. He dislikes the system because he believes it is messing up what the students should do. The next question is, the Samaritan should focus on people if it intends to solve any problem. Rewrite the sentence using beginning unless. So the answer will be, unless the Samaritan intend to solve any problem, comma, it should not focus on the people. The last question of the excerpt is, explain what happens after the excerpt. So Mosi ordered that Nicole should delete the part where he is being vindicated in the app. Just a minute, let me do something fast before I finish. Okay, let's proceed. Let's proceed with our discussion. Now, the next thing I'm going to read is question 3. Of course, you understand. Oh, I had not finished the previous question. The first aspect was that Mosi ordered Nicole to delete any, post that is casting him in the bad light. He also gave him a card and a number, indicating she should call immediately she has deleted to show that she has complied. Then he threatened that if she doesn't do so, she will see who he is, the smoke that thunders, all right? The third question that we are going through is a narrative. We'll quickly read through. It's a short one, so please be patient. The narrative goes as following. A long time ago, when animals still roamed freely, tortoise and spider were well known for their mischief. Tortoise, slow but sly, often clashed with Spider, who was quick and cunning. Their rivalry brewed many tales, but none was more popular than the story of Spider's marriage to the King of Heaven's daughter. One day, Spider heard that the King of Heaven wanted to marry off his beautiful daughter. However, he would only give her hand to someone who could fetch a pot of water from the great river of no return. All creatures feared the river, for its current was wild and no one who entered ever came back. Spider thought to himself, "This is my chance to prove I am the cleverest of all. If I marry the king's daughter, I'll live in a luxury forever." Tortoise, overhearing Spider's plan, chuckled to himself. "You think you are the smartest, but I'll outwit you yet." And so, both set off for the river, each plotting their own schemes. Spider, ever dramatic, spun a web across the river, singing as he worked. "O river so mighty, so fierce, so wide, grant me the water. I'll take it in stride. The king awaits, a bride I must win. Let me return with the pot to begin." All right, that was the song. I don't know the rhythm, but I've just tried to sing, okay? Now, but as soon as Spider scooped the water, the river roared, "You dare steal from me?" It lashed out, cutting his web and sweeping him down the stream. Spider clung to a rock, sputtering, "Tortoise will never let me live this down." Meanwhile, Tortoise, slow but steady, Annabelle. Tortoise, slow but steady, carried. The river takes, the river gives. Let's see who is smartest. The river, pleased by the offering, allowed Tortoise to fill his pot with water. With a sly grin, Tortoise nudged back, singing softly, "Slow and steady wins the game. The river flows, but I remain. Oh, king, so wise, you are..." Hey, the phone had disconnected anyway, but we have to continue. Slow and steady wins the game. The river flows, but I remain. Oh, king so wise, you are daughters mine. This clever trick will stand for time. When Tortoise reached the king of heaven, Spider had just returned, soaked and shivering. The king, amused by Spider's drenched state, proclaimed, "The winner is clear. Tortoise shall marry my daughter." Spider fumed, muttering, "This shell-backed schemer has outdone me. And so, Tortoise lived in the clouds with the king's daughter, while Spider remained on earth, plotting his next move. Even today, when you see a spider's web near the water, you might hear him grumble, "Tortoise may be slow, but his wit is sharp as a knife." And that is the end of the tale. Those who tell stories never die, and those who listen live forever. With a reason classified the above oral narrative. Of course, it is an explanatory narrative because it tells why the tortoise stays, why the tortoise stays in clouds with the king's daughter, while Spider always has a web near the water. At the same time, we can consider this as a trickster narrative because we see the tortoise tricking Spider. The next question is, why was marrying the King of Heaven's daughter considered a complicated affair? It was complicated because one had to go to the river of no return, and many people knew that you would not come back alive. So the choice one had to make was very challenging. The next question is, give and illustrate any two character traits of Spider. We realize Spider is mischievous because we are told in the story he was well known for his mischief. Then apart from that, I think we can also say that Spider we can say Spider was what? I saw somewhere. When he's complaining, what do we say here? Spider is also dramatic. Looking at the song he sang, it was very cunning. Then overconfident, he thought that he would be the winner. The next question is, explain any two features that makes the above item an oral narrative. Of course, there is an opening formula a long time ago. There is closing formula. That is the end of my story. There is timelessness. The story is open. It refers to an open moment. Personification. We can see that these animals are able to behave like human beings. Two roles of the song in the sung by tortoise. Of course, we realize that tortoise is overconfident because he says slow and steady wins the game. The river flows, but I remain. He's also arrogant and proud also. And we also learn it also enhances the extension of the plot of the story because the story becomes longer as you sing. It also makes the story lively or breaks the monotony of narration. The next question is, illustrate any aspects of culture of the community from which the narrative is drawn. Of course, we realize one of the aspects is that when you marry a daughter of someone, you stay in their family, especially the king. Whoever does what the king wants and marry the daughter will stay in the family. Okay? The other culture that we realize is that men have to strive before they can marry a woman. Another question is, rewrite the following sentences as instructed. The river takes, the river gives. Begin not only. So you say not only does the river take, but also gives. Okay. I want us to finish this so that we can get to some other things of the night. The last question is here. I'll be showing it. Okay. So the next question is grammar. Of course, I've read the instructions. Now, part one of the question is, I will only go if she asks me to. Rewrite using the word unless. So, the student here has answered with a small u. They cannot score. When you are writing, you have to consider your punctuation. Now, if they have written unless using small letter, it is possible that they want you to use it inside your work. For example, you say, they have said, I will only go if she asks me to. They have said, use the word unless small letter. So it means you can say, I will not go unless she asks me. Okay? I'll not go unless she asks me. The next one, it is amazing that a couple takes care of so many orphans. It should be that the couple takes care of so many orphans is amazing, with a comma here. The next question is, as soon as the sun rose, I woke up. Begin no sooner. No sooner than the sun. No sooner than the sun. No sooner had the sun risen than I woke up. The next one is Kamau and Jen decided to call the police. Replace the underlined word using appropriate pronoun. Kamau and she decided to call the police. Remember, it's subjective position. Here, but because the man was lazy, he never married Anne. But for his laziness, the man never married Anne. The next question is word formation. Sunset can be dash sight. Of course, sunset is a good thing, so you say awesome. Ferdinand was treated dash than Jomo when he won the race. Heroically. It is against our culture to treat elders dash disrespectfully. She was dashed from college after failing the times, discontinued. The next question is phrasal verbs. I was surprised in her inability to take care of his family. I was taken aback. We anticipated seeing our new principal. We looked forward to seeing. The bomb exploded at 2 a.m. The bomb went off. And remember, if you are writing the answers alone here, remember to write starting with a small letter, okay? The second last question. Briefly explain the difference in meaning between the following sentences. 10 of those employees were fired by the manager. Those 10 employees were fired by the manager. So the first one, it means there are so many employees, but only 10 of them were fired. Whereas the second, all the employees who were 10 were fired. The last question. Rewrite the following sentence below, correcting the mistake. The fact that you cannot be able to do it does not mean it's impossible. So cannot be able is a repetition. So you say the fact that you cannot do it does not mean it is impossible. Or the fact that you are unable to do it does not mean it is impossible. So adios. Thank you so much for paying attention. This is a 5-star mock exam 2025. Stay tuned. Let's meet tomorrow for reactions and amusing moments. Bye bye. Good night for Kenyans.